Now, speaking of climate change, let's talk about Syria. It's not a connection that you might have considered before taking a look at this graphic. Audrey Quinn and Jackie Roche created a visual representation of the backstory to the Syrian conflict. And it's not something often considered or really widely talked about, even nominally talked about. This graphic suggests that what led to the uprising, which in turn led to Bashar al-Assad's retaliation, wasn't just Arab Spring fever, it was climate change. Between 2006 and 2011, Syria suffered under immense drought, causing a mass exodus from rural areas to urban areas in search of work, food, and survival. Combine this with al-Assad's twisted response to the drought, i.e. handing out water rights to political pals while centuries-old farms withered away, and you have a textbook foundation for an uprising. Now, there are several more informational gems in this graphic, so be sure to check out our Facebook page in order to get a link to this graphic. And trust me, you'll be damn happy that you did. It's eye-opening, powerful, and sinks to the depths of your psyche in less than 5 minutes, depending on how fast you read. Seriously though, look at it. And here's why I'm so insistent on this. Not only will it take you less than 5 minutes to learn the backstory to part of the greatest refugee crisis since World War II, but it will also allow you to easily place yourself in the roles of these refugees. This isn't just another country that fell apart because of an unstable, fractured government or rampant warlords. No. In fact, as Laura Satrakian, founder of Syria Deeply, explains, before the revolution, Syria was a quote-unquote calm, stable, culturally rich, and very beautiful place. However, she adds, it was also a thick police state where you could hardly even whisper a word against the ruling regime. Are you following me on this one? What other country do you know of that's currently experiencing the effects of climate change while simultaneously exhibiting several key attributes of a police state? And before you trolls go about suggesting that I have my throat slit or be raped or whatever for comparing the US to Syria, understand me, which you probably won't because you're a troll, but whatever. We're a country with little tolerance for dissent, from free speech zones to activists behind bars and whistleblowers hiding in embassies in the Russian tundra. It is not hard to conceive of a time when widespread storms, drought, flooding, heat, and food shortages will push people to demand change. And our current system has only one way of responding to that sort of push, and that's to push back violently. I have received 3 emails from 3 separate old German men saying that what's happening in this country right now reminds them of the rise of the Nazis in the 30s. The fucking Nazis. Now, is the sky falling yet? Well, not for us, but for Syria it is. And we have a fucking moral obligation to do something about it. If you want to do something about it, not just for humanity's sake, do it because you realize that you too might soon be kicking dust on a dirt road wondering how the fuck to make ends meet, being pushed into crowded urban spaces and told to stay in line or else, while your government does nothing to help you. So, how can we help that version of you thousands of miles away? Well, here are 2 ways. First up, the Migrant Offshore Aid Station. Here's the gist. Last year, the EU cut its search and rescue budget in the Mediterranean by 2/3. Problem is, more and more people are crossing in search of safety, so inevitably, this year the death toll of those attempting the passage is 3 times higher. The Migrant Offshore Aid Station is a privately funded search and rescue operation, basically all put together by one couple, Christopher and Regina Catrambone. They have spent more than $8 million putting together the necessary tools and crew to take on this work, and most recently, they have also teamed up with Doctors Without Borders. Their work is incredible and sorely needed right now, as evidenced by the most recent pictures of refugees washing up on beaches. And you can learn more and donate by visiting their site, moas.eu. Next, on charity donation site Just Giving, a page has been created in the name of Elan Kurdi, the boy whose image has become a powerful and soul-wrenching display of this crisis. The page in his name is taking donations for Hand in Hand for Syria, an organization that works within Syria's borders with 100% of proceeds going directly to those in need inside of Syria. If money isn't something you can give, several sites are looking for stuff. Refugee Action is accepting old car donations, mobile phones, and printer cartridges that can be sold for cash to help refugees. They also have a long list of ways to engage in digital activism for the cause. You can also volunteer with the International Rescue Committee in one of their 22 offices or indeed online. And while you're online, Shoot out the hashtag #RefugeesWelcome. Post, tweet, and share. And these are but a few of the ways to help. There are more out there. From refugee versions of Airbnbs in Germany to supply and support in the Calais jungles, aka refugee camps, where refugees can sit stranded without proper care or supplies. And want to see more than what I had time to dish out? Well, my dear friends, Google that shit.